to the Julie's World vlog. So this is a great week. I'm continuing to work on that quilt, and it's kind of an adventure, so you'll have to check that out. We do a game night, which is lots of fun, including with a raclette, which I had a totally different idea of what that meant, so be sure to check that out. I do have a bunch of in-person classes coming up, so I hope that you'll join me for those, and I think that's about it. So as always, thanks for your kind comments, your likes, and for subscribing to my YouTube channel. I'm gonna have a meltdown, so I'm losing my voice. I spent all afternoon preparing for this stupid live stream and had a massive equipment failure right as we were entering the broadcast, even though I had like done all my homework, and like I spent like more than an hour trying to, anyway, regardless, I'm just feeling really bad about the whole thing, but you know what? C'est la vie. You gotta move on. Flip the page. Tomorrow is another day. I live to ride again.
You can imagine we're seeing this in electric lighting, but if you saw this frame in candlelight in a crowded room full of frames, you would have had these wonderful patterns dancing and fins cut to that very specific thing. They did a similar thing in the 17th century, but this would actually be a spinning machine. They would cut that.
So I've just come home and immediately taken off my bra and my heels and all that kind of stuff, because who wants to stay in that all night long, right? Anyway, so tonight was the MFA connoisseurship dinner, and it was fantastic. I'm losing my voice because I was screaming at this table full of really interesting people, this great curator, Elliot Davis, just talking about art and craft and art and ideas, and it was fantastic. Also went to two really interesting talks. One about Murakami, where I learned a couple interesting things. The most interesting of which is that he has a workshop of 100 people, so it's very rare for him to actually touch the art and make it. It's really conceptual. He thinks of himself as like an architect of art. And the second thing that was interesting was I went to a framing thing that blew my mind. Plus the conservator was geeked out, which was always awesome. But it's really going to make me look at frames totally different. So I'm like excited and crazy and wearing my comfy clothes. Definitely one of those moments where it's like one of those things where I'm sure nobody else can tell, but I can tell. So I'm trying out a new part in my hair. Normally I part it on either side, but much further over. So I'm trying sort of closer to the center. I don't know, maybe it looks exactly the same. It's hard to tell. So I get to this point with all of my art journals, it just sort of inevitably happens, where I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it. Not of art journaling, but of that particular journal. So I have reached that point with this journal. So I'm just going to knock out the last page or two. Usually what happens is I do like a big drawing or a big design or something just to get it over with, because I'm so excited about moving into the next journal. And so I ended up just gluing these tags from Carve December in here. Cut this, you can see that little page. And then this page already looked like this. That's why I love working in a junk journal. I just added this heart I glued in. So there you go. Last few pages in the journal are done because all that's left is the end papers. And now this bad boy is ready to put away on the shelf and I can start a new journal. This is a feature that I'm calling 5 Questions with Steve. Steve, you didn't know we were going to do this, did you?
Nope.
Are you not excited about it because you're in the middle of driving?
Yes.
That's one question.
That's
okay.
2 questions.
What?
You asked if I knew that we were going to do this.
Fine, that's 2 questions. He's cheating. Okay, so the third question, Steve, is do you have resting bitch face?
All the time.
So, which I think is funny because people often say that he looks grumpy, but he's like the least grumpy person. Okay, next question, Steve, is what did you just buy?
Video game.
Okay. Your answers are so short. I have to get longer answers out of you, or I'm gonna need 20 questions with
Ask
Steve.
better questions.
Okay. The
My
5th
fault.
question, the most important question, the one that I'm going to use all the words on, is what's your favorite thing about me?
Probably you're singing in the car.
Is that why you open the windows when I sing?
Yes.
Okay. So that was 6 questions with Steve. Journal that I made a little while ago. You can see this is actually a stencil of mine. This is a stencil. This is a little bitty Balzer bit. I believe this is another Balzer bit. So those are all stencils I designed, and I'm really excited to be starting this. So I finished all of the raw edge applique on this, and now I'm trying to make a really hard decision. Should I put it in the washing machine and dryer and all of this stuff will ravel like crazy, or should I leave it like it is? Oh gosh, I don't know what to do. Okay, I just put it into the washing machine. I'm freaking myself out. I'm hoping it's all gonna be okay. We'll know. I mean, the washing machine will take like 20 odd minutes, and then the dryer will take another 40, and then we'll know whether or not it was a mistake. Okay, I'm feeling like it might have been a mistake. Here it is, out of the dryer, and oh yeah, did it ravel. So it doesn't really look as crisp as it did before. It looks much more raggy, which I knew it would, but I'm not sure I like it, especially the nose area. It's so distorted because those pieces were so small. I'm going to sleep on it, but I feel a little sad and depressed that I may have totally screwed up this quilt, which was beautiful before I did this. I can't stop shaking the camera. Oh wait, I'm taking video. Hold on, let me redo. Hey, so I made this necklace, and like you can see, I love it. We are going to pick up my mom, and we are going to dinner. Where are we going, Steve?
I don't know.
La Compagnia or Campagna or something like that. I'm looking forward to it, but my favorite story about that restaurant is that there's another place down the street called Il Casale, and while we were in there, this woman's like, oh, we made a reservation, I called, the guy said come in, the woman's like, I don't have anything, and I'm the only one here answering the phones, and then the maitre d' was like, and they couldn't figure it out, and the two of them were talking back and forth, and then all of a sudden the maitre d' says, hey, did you call Il Casale? Because this is La Campagna, and the woman was like, oh, sorry. And I think it must happen all the time for her to have brought that up. I thought it was funny. in Weston today trying out a dumpling place. I've got a big old pork bun. Not bad. So the bubble tea, unfortunately, I asked for without dairy, but it has dairy in it. We're gonna try the dumplings. Steve, go. What do you think?
I'm excited. Here we go.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this is a raclette, and this is where you're going to put your cheese. And up here is where we're going to cook. Everything actually is either cooked or is a vegetable that doesn't need to be cooked, with the exception of the shrimp. And the shrimp will turn pink when they're ready. You flip them over. There's a little fork here. There's cocktail sauce, mustard. This is a dill pickle mustard, and pickles. There's some charcuterie and potatoes. And basically, you're going to put cheese on here, let it melt, and then put it over any of these things you want.
So is a raclette like a modern version of a, what are those things they use in the 70s with the sticks? Like a fondue pot?
Fondue.
Is
So
it like a different version of fondue?
It's sort of side by side with fondue.
Okay. Hey, Steve, what's your favorite thing about Settlers of Catan?
Winning.
Well, you don't get to do that very often. It's amazing that we play. So, Matt, what's your favorite thing about Settlers?
I guess it's got to be screwing Julie because that's the only thing I'm good at. Apparently,
You're actually
I'm not
extraordinarily
apparently good at
You're
winning. So.
extremely good at it. Jen, what's
Yes.
your favorite part of Catan?
It's hot.
It is hot. It's true. And my favorite part is that, I don't know, I laugh and laugh and laugh when we play, and there's lots of strategy, and no two games are ever the same. I think that's Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next week.